Hello, and welcome back to Frugal Gamer. Today, I actually wanted to touch up on something that has nothing to do with saving money. I actually wanted to talk about 5 overlooked problems in the world. So, before I get started, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this right now. My business is going to be based around trying to eliminate several problems in the world. Now, I'm going to do my best, but I already know that I'm not going to be able to solve and eliminate every single one. And I think everybody here knows that. So, I want not only for you to support me, but I want you to try and find somebody else that's also trying to help solve the problem. Support them too, if you can, please. Or any of these issues that you see as a very big problem that needs to be dealt with, please go ahead and support anybody that is trying to help to solve this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started now. Number 1 is going to be child sex trafficking. Now, child sex trafficking isn't too popular anymore, but it is a problem that we still face today. Now, it may not happen every single day right in front of us, but there are still parts of South America where child sex trafficking is still a thing. I am trying to create a game that is going to help eliminate some of these things. Or, not some of these things, but trying to eliminate child sex trafficking. That's going to be the focal point of my game. The GoFundMe link is in the description below. You saw the video from earlier today. But, yeah, child sex trafficking is also, it's even worse in certain Asian countries. Now, this is also a thing that can still happen in Russia or Europe or even Africa. This can happen anywhere, even North America and Australia. Nobody is, out of the problematic ring. Nobody is outside of it. There are still people who think that child sex trafficking is okay, because there are still pedophiles out there in the world. So, I think that this is a very overlooked issue, and I think we need to start doing something about it before it becomes popular again. Number 2 is going to be sweatshops. Now, it doesn't matter what kind of sweatshop we're talking about. If you buy from Wish or anything like that, you've likely gotten at least something from a sweatshop. On top of that, if you've gotten something from Amazon, you've likely bought something from a sweatshop at least once, using either of these platforms to buy anything. Sweatshops are a really big deal because sweatshops don't care how old you are. You can be 6 years old and they'll still take you in. You can be an 80-year-old woman and they'll still take you in. As long as you work and they can work you till you die and you're, not dead yet, they're gonna do it. It doesn't matter. And I hate to put it this way, but sweatshops is basically just slavery within a building. That's all it is. So I want to try and end this whole sweatshop thing once and for all, because sweatshops, because they're still around in every single country, I want to do whatever I can to find out anybody that is trying to eliminate these problems or anything like that. I'm going to go ahead and move on to number 3, which is going to be lowering the cost of living. Now, everybody seems to think that it's all about what the minimum wage is. You're right, it is all about what the minimum wage is, because when you raise the minimum wage, the cost of living goes up and everything else with it does. So what you end up doing is when you raise the minimum wage, the higher it is, the more likely it is that you are going to end up in debt. Because what people don't realize is that if you raise the minimum wage, everything gets a higher tax. Everything gets bumped up a little bit more on their regular pricing as well. For example, I work at the Dollar Tree, and they were just doing some tax cuts here in the United States, and apparently a lot of the stuff that we're having to get smaller boxes and smaller bags of whatever the product is, just so we can afford it, just so that it stays within our price range. So instead of a box of onion soup and dip mix that is 3.5 ounces, we now have 2.5 ounces with only 2 bags in it instead of 3. So this is a big issue that we are facing, not just in the US, but pretty much everywhere. Number 4 is the food production problem. Oh my goodness. Okay, Americans are probably the worst ones out there, but almost half of the food that we produce here in the US, or that we end up consuming, we end up throwing away. So not only is the food production problem getting worse, but Americans are wasting damn near half of their food every year. It's about 40%. That's still a very big chunk. So we need to figure out how to not only stop wasting, but we also need to figure out how to make these farms be able to be more profitable. Now, despite what I just said earlier, raising the minimum wage is going to raise the cost of everything else. Food should be one of those things that we pay quite a bit for, just because of the fact that that's what makes us survive. Not only that, but we are in a place that we have the ability to choose between good or bad food. Or at least some of us do. Those of us in food deserts, we are kind of scrambling. But the fact still remains that we have a food production problem. We can't grow enough food to feed the entire population. One business that is trying to help with the food production problem is SoFi Africa. SoFi Africa will be in the description below to the Facebook page. But the food production problem is something that we should really be focusing on, whether it be here in the US, in South America, in Africa, doesn't matter where. But SoFi Africa is trying to make a difference, and they are trying to grow food for those who are in vulnerable communities, grow food for the youthful, pregnant, or nursing women. Now, I want to step into number 5, which is going to be homelessness. Now, homelessness is one of those things where I think every single country, every single region of the country has to deal with homelessness to some degree. I highly doubt that there's a country out there that has their homelessness problem at 0%. I highly doubt that. I highly doubt every single one of them has a home. So, homelessness is something that we definitely need to be touching up on, because homelessness can affect everybody. It can affect you, it can affect me, it can affect anybody at any given time. It all depends. But the fact of the matter is, while we still can, we need to make a difference towards this homelessness problem. We need to try to build sustainable housing for those who are having trouble to get a job or having trouble to maintain their homes. Or even we need to set up more ways to get volunteer work out there to those who are homeless so that they can at least get some work in. And we should have buildings that allow people to just take showers if they need to. Because I actually know somebody who was homeless last year, actually. He was homeless last year. I let him live here, and now he is a boss. At the company that he's working at, he is a boss. He just got that promotion yesterday. So, with that being said, homelessness is something that we can easily turn around for one person, but to turn it around for everybody, that's going to take real work, real time, and real money. So, these are just some of the few overlooked problems in the world. If you guys want to hear about more problems that I think are very overlooked, go ahead and leave it in the comments below, please. And if you like this video and you like that somebody's finally touching up on some of these overlooked problems, even just one of these, go ahead and like the video. Please, let me know that you guys want to hear about the world, want to hear about the problems with the world, want to figure out how they can help. But I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. So please subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.